All right, folks, welcome back. And I'm going to tell you what, if you're listening today, you may hear the best episode we've ever put out. That's how good the topics are.
Big talk.
Big talk. Big talk. We got to back it up now. So much has been going on in the world of true crime headlines. A quick look at the topics we're going to be discussing today. In Florida, Olympic sprinter Sha'carri Richardson was arrested for, of all things, speeding, driving 104 miles per hour on the interstate. And she was one of the first people arrested under Florida's new super speeder law. In California, an exotic dancer is accused of beheading her boyfriend, and she has been caught in Mexico. In Louisiana, a mass shooting at a Mardi Gras parade has injured 5, including a small child. We've got all the details on that. In Florida, a man is arrested after allegedly having sex with a vacuum cleaner. You can't make that up. We're going to tell you about that wild story. In Ohio, the body of missing teen Hailey Buzbee has been found and an arrest has been made. We'll cover all those details. In Arizona, the mother of Today Show host Samantha Guthrie has been allegedly abducted. I would say take that allegedly out, but we'll talk about it. A ransom note allegedly has been found. We'll cover why that is still alleged. And we got all this coming up, plus much, much more today on Crime Wire Weekly. I'm Jim Chapman.
And I'm Kelly Jennings.
A lot to talk about today.
I know, and a big gamut of things. You know, it's we're all over the place.
It really runs the you're right, the gamut of crime-related headlines. And we're going to start out in Florida today. Okay. And I'm going to tell you about former LSU sprinter Sha'carri Richardson. Of course, if you follow the Olympics, you follow track and field, you know that she is a gold medalist.
Oh, my gosh. She is a force to be reckoned with when it comes to speed. But I guess...
Oh,
she's true.
She's badass, and she has the style to match, right? Yeah. She's got the nails, kind of the floor. You remember Florence Griffith Joyner from the 1984
Olympics?
Olympics?
I do, actually.
She's kind of like this. She reminds me a lot of.
Yeah, and she's got that hair, too. She's always got like that hair going, and she's a scene. You know, she's a whole thing herself.
Yep. So professionally, very out there, and unfortunately, in her private life, very out there, especially as of late. I know like 6 months ago, she got arrested at an airport after an altercation with her boyfriend, who is also an Olympic sprinter. So she's had her troubles there. Well, in Florida, she was arrested this past Thursday in Orange County after authorities said she was driving at speeds exceeding 100 miles per hour. According to the Orange County Sheriff's Office, a traffic enforcement deputy pulled over the vehicle for traveling 104 miles per hour, along with additional reckless behavior, including dangerously tailgating other motorists, crossing lanes, passing vehicles, etc. Richardson, who is 25 years old, incidentally, was identified as the driver. She was booked into jail on a charge of dangerous excessive speeding. Now, there's a new law in Florida, relatively new. It's new for the past 6 months, where high-speed violations are automatic. Go to jail. There is no negotiation, anything like that. It's called the super speeder law, and it allows law enforcement, it gives them that authority to take someone straight to jail if speeds exceed 100 miles per hour. I don't know that I disagree with that, and I have a car that will do well over 100 miles per hour. Right. And I don't drive that fast in that car, even though it's capable. She also had a very capable car. That's all I'm going to say about that. But they did. They took her to jail for it. I'm going to play a clip quickly of the actual body cam footage because you're going to see Sha'carri initially be okay with this, and then you almost feel bad for her. She really starts begging. She doesn't want to go to jail. You know, in a way, you want to say you should have thought of that before you were going 104 miles per hour and speeding in and out of traffic. But I'm going to play this clip where you can hear exactly what went down. It's relatively short, so here's that.
I would wipe that smile off your face. I'm Sergeant McDaniels with the Orange County Sheriff's Office. You're being stopped for dangerous excessive speeding.
I understand my tire at the back is like literally on 29.
So you're driving at 100. Hold on. You're driving at 104 miles an hour in a 65 mile an hour zone with subpar equipment, flashing people to get out of your lights, out of your lane, following too close, using every lane to pass everybody, cutting me off, passing a car on the inside shoulder with their hazard lights on.
Yes, sir.
You're going to jail for dangerous excessive speeding.
I'm so sorry. I did not mean to do that. My phone, I didn't even know my car was speeding.
That's why they give you a speedometer.
I totally understand. I communicate with you, sir. I really do not want to go to jail.
No, most people don't, but you got to think about that before you do the speed. I need your license, your registration, and your insurance. You were speeding.
So I was, and I totally didn't know. If you look at my phone, my buttons right here, they jump around. My phone is sitting here and it's lit on here. I literally see it's not even in normal mode. And I see that. My apologies, sir. Please, I communicate.
The mode has nothing to do with your gas pedal.
No.
I need your license, your registration, and your insurance.
Please, sir, I really want to work. Can you really work with me, sir? I promise you, I am a law-abiding citizen. I have my ID, my insurance on my phone. There was no intention of me speeding today. I promise you, sir.
Is this a good address for you, Lake Valley Drive?
Yes, sir. I'm here. I'm local, sir. Please work with me. I promise you.
I don't know what work with you means.
Not work with me. I understand that. I will take the ticket. I will show the
No, like I told you, you're going to jail.
Please don't allow me to go to please, sir. Please.
Listen to me.
Please, sir. I really.
It's nothing you say is going to change that. You are going to jail.
Sir, am I going to jail, Jake?
Yes.
Sir, I really was not meant to intentionally speeding.
That's even more scary. That means that you're doing things unintentionally on a task that requires all your attention.
Sir, please, I'm begging you.
You are going to have a little bit of time to make some phone calls. You are going to jail. I am towing your car.
Please, sir, don't take me to jail. I will do everything.
No.
I will do everything.
You have two options.
Listen. Sir, please.
Listen, you have two options.
Please, sir.
The first option is you can either ride with me in my car.
Damn, that's loud.
The second option is you are going to go to jail in a cage car. Which do you prefer?
I promise you, I don't want to go to jail. I'm right here. I have a team here. I have a coach, everything, sir. I was not intentionally doing anything, and I am.
You're not listening. You're repeating yourself and not listening. Nothing you say is going to change.
So I want to.
So make some phone calls. Let people know that you're going to have a $500 bond.
She just has a need for speed, Jim.
Yeah,
she's fast.
I mean. Well, we all know it can happen when you're speeding, and of course, horrific car accidents, things like that. People could get killed really easy. So certainly not condoning that. And I will credit her that she didn't pull the "I'm an Olympic medalist, can you let me go" card. Yeah. She accepted her fate there, and so I credit her for that. But hopefully, Sha'carri will start concentrating on things that make her money and not cost her money.
Yeah. And you got to look out for other people. You got to be a good steward of driving. So, all right, now we're going to go right here to Clinton, Louisiana. And I know my family, we are huge Mardi Grasers. Are y'all? Do y'all go to the parades?
We went to the Denim Parade this year.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
We take it to
We're not huge Mardi Gras, no. We like small parades. I'm not into the
we're not trying to go get shot up in the middle of New Orleans, but we do go to New Orleans, but we don't go.
When I was younger, 18, 19, I was all over the Mardi Gras parades in New Orleans.
Yeah.
I can remember of them.
We go to like the family friendlier part, I guess, ish.
Yeah.
And we have a good time. And I remember one year or two a few years ago, a gunshot went off, and it turns out it was in a porta potty, and a guy had shot on accident in the porta potty, and that was like some drama. But this is like next level. So authorities in East Feliciana Parish have arrested 6 individuals following a shooting that injured 5 people, including a 6-year-old girl, during the annual Mardi Gras in the Country parade in Clinton, Louisiana. Now, this was on January 31st of 2026, and the incident, which occurred shortly after noon outside of the East Feliciana Parish courthouse, abruptly halted the festive event, and it sent parade goers scrambling for safety. The shooting left 5 victims wounded, with injuries ranging from minor to critical, and among the injured was a 6-year-old girl who required surgery and was initially listed in critical condition. East Feliciana Parish Sheriff Jeff Travis described the event as absolutely horrific and unacceptable, emphasizing that the quick response from law enforcement prevented further casualties. It could have been worse if we didn't have as much presence and help, Travis said in a press conference, praising the training and the coordination of officers at the scene. Investigators swiftly moved to apprehend the suspects, with arrests beginning shortly after the incident. As of February 3rd, 2026, 6 people have been taken into custody. Noah Basquin, who's 19, was charged with attempted second-degree murder, principal to obstruction of justice, and reckless discharge of a firearm at a parade or demonstration. Philip Williams, who is 25, is a known gang member and facing similar charges, including attempted second-degree murder. Malik Liggins, 16 years old, who is being charged as an adult with attempted second-degree murder, principal to obstruction, and the reckless discharge charge. Jacent Scott, 26, was arrested on charges of illegal carrying of a weapon and 2 counts of resisting an officer. Authorities do not believe he was directly involved in the shooting. Cameron Barfield, 21, was arrested on February 3rd at his home in Baker, and he's facing 6 counts of principal to attempted second-degree murder, principal to obstruction of justice, and principal to reckless discharge of a firearm at a parade. DeTraylon White, who surrendered on February 3rd, was charged with the same charges. District Attorney Sam DeQuilla highlighted the severity of the charges, noting that the behavior was intolerable and that efforts are underway to ensure such incidents do not reoccur. The investigation remains active, with Sheriff Travis indicating that more arrests are possible as leads are pursued. The shooting is suspected to be the result of 2 rival gangs running into each other, which is so freaking stupid. It makes me mad to even say it. And one gang is from Mississippi and one here. That is so dumb.
Yeah, it is, and it's an issue. And you just mentioned before you got into that story about small family Mardi Gras parades. Yeah. That's one of them. Yeah. That's a good example of that. You want to be able to bring your family to these parades, and you don't expect that anywhere. Even New Orleans. You don't expect that at any Mardi Gras parade, but you sure as hell don't expect it at the one in Clinton. Yeah. You're talking about one with a 21-year history, and I don't know if they've ever had any sort of violent situation, especially something of this nature. 5 people shot, and I've seen the video that bystanders have posted of this, and it's just terrific. It's horrible. It is a risk, certainly, that you take when a bunch of people are gathering in one spot for any event, whether it's a football game or what have you, but horrible situation. They're on top of it and senseless. Gang activity.
Over what? Like, you just are willing to go shoot, and you shot a child. Like, when you go to prison for this, which you all deserve to do, you ought to wear a shirt for everyone to know that you shot a child. Like, what a thug. You shot 4 adults. I know.
I mean, you just shot people.
I know. But, like, it just infuriates me that you're that reckless, you're that stupid, and over what?
Yeah.
Because you're in a different gang. Like, that is so
well,
stupid.
And you don't get any street cred for shooting innocent people. That's the thing. If you're shooting another gang member, it's all about street cred to these guys. You get no street cred from shooting a child or shooting 3 mothers and 2 fathers.
Yeah.
So.
And did you see the mugshot? One of them, you can't read the whole thing, but we need to put this picture up. But I think it says "kill human" on his sweatshirt, and then it's got like a scary looking smiley face on it.
Yeah,
that's great. Good choice of clothing for your mugshot there, bud.
Well, let's get into an update. And a few weeks ago, I brought you on this show the story of the Tepe double murder case. And the autopsy results are out, and they are pretty shocking. As I said, if you'll remember, we brought you this story just a few weeks ago. I even did a deep dive on Exposed of this Ohio double murder case in which a dentist and his wife were killed. The ex-husband was arrested, but very little details came out other than that these people were shot. We didn't know any other details. So here's what we know from that autopsy report. Spencer Tepe, who is 37 or was 37, sustained a total of 7 gunshot wounds, all to his upper body. The wounds were inflicted in indeterminate ranges, so it could have been up close, it could have been a little further back. No evidence specifying the distance from which these shots were fired. The injuries and the bullet trajectories indicate possible movement during the shooting or attempts to defend himself or his wife. A toxicology, how do you say it, Kelly?
Toxicology.
Thank you. Report showed no alcohol or drugs in his system. His death was ruled a homicide due to gunshot wounds of the head, neck, trunk. What is the trunk? That would be like your chest area?
Clavicle to your... Yeah.
Okay, so in the extremities with visceral, skeletal, and soft tissue injuries. He was pronounced dead at 10:11 a.m., likely within seconds to minutes of being shot. Specific Injury locations: he had a wound to his left ear, wound to the left side of his neck, wound to his left upper chest, wound to his left lower chest, wound to his left hand, and that's probably a defensive wound, right? And a wound to the left upper back, also a wound to the right arm near the elbow. One large caliber bullet was recovered from his right arm. The wounds to the hand and right arm may suggest defensive actions.
Does it say what caliber, just large?
It just says large caliber. Okay. Monique Tepe, who is 39, sustained a total of 9 gunshot wounds, all to her upper body. The wounds were inflicted also at indeterminate ranges, but 9 times she was shot. She had a wound to the right cheek, 3 gunshot wounds to the right chest, and those were clustered together. She had a wound to the right side of the torso, wound to the right forearm, wound to the right hand, and 2 wounds to the left upper arm. 2 bullets and 1 bullet fragment were recovered from her body. Now, in addition to that, it's also come out that there was an interaction in December that was actually during the Big Ten championship football game. And apparently Monique and Spencer Tepe ran into the ex-husband, and apparently it didn't go very well. As a matter of fact, Monique insisted on leaving that championship game. That was on December 6th. December 30th, they were dead. And of course, if you're interested in getting the full details on everything we know in this case, you can check out Exposed. But I'm going to say this. He unloaded the entire clip.
Yeah, I added them up
into those people
while you were doing it.
Yeah.
And didn't miss.
That doesn't appear he missed.
Not with that many, unless, some were double wounds, like through the hand if he was in front of his stomach. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. I mean,
he couldn't have missed.
He
there are that many bullet holes.
Them.
Yeah.
He massacred them. And this right here is great update as far as, what they'd been divorced for like 7 years or something.
Oh, it was longer now, almost a decade.
Yeah. And we could not figure out. We're like, what could set you off that? There it is. There it is.
Yeah. There had to be some sort of interaction.
And it pissed him something off.
Yeah. And if you're a detective and you're working that case and you see that many bullets pumped into both victims in the middle of the night like that, that's obviously someone that is not worried about other people calling the cops. They pretty much lost their mind. They're not trying to even cover their tracks.
And to shoot her in the face.
It's overkill.
Yeah, and the face and the chest. I mean, you were going center mass, man. You were shooting majority of them in the trunk. You were absolutely shooting to kill, and obviously with that many shots. This was a death mission. This was an assassination.
Yeah.
A double assassination. My God, that's unbelievable. That's a lot of shots.
That is a lot of shots.
Oh my gosh, wow. And then the poor babies, they were home, weren't they? Didn't we say the babies were home?
Yes.
So let's move on now to Tucson, Arizona. Now, this is probably the biggest story right now as we are recording, but authorities in Arizona are intensifying their search for 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, the mother of NBC's Today Show co-anchor Savannah Guthrie, who disappeared from her home over the weekend under suspicious circumstances. Officials believe she was taken against her will, with evidence pointing to a possible kidnapping. Nancy Guthrie was last seen at her residence in the Tucson area on Saturday night. She lived alone and was reported missing the following day. The sheriff, Chris Nanios, stated that investigators found signs of forced entry at the home, indicating she did not leave voluntarily. And they said, "We do believe Nancy was taken from her home against her will." Adding to the urgency, Guthrie requires daily medication, and without it, her health could rapidly deteriorate. Her pacemaker reportedly stopped syncing with her Apple devices early Sunday morning, raising further concerns about her well-being. That ain't good.
No.
The law enforcement source revealed that a small amount of blood was discovered inside the home, and what appeared to be dried blood was also spotted near the front door. The sheriff's office has involved homicide detectives in the case, and the FBI is assisting in the investigation. Now, in a disturbing development, TMZ reported receiving an alleged ransom note demanding millions in Bitcoin for Guthrie's release. The note, which specified a Bitcoin address, was forwarded to authorities for verification. Sheriff Nanios emphasized the need to find her quickly, noting, "Job number one is we've got to find her, and we've got to bring Nancy Guthrie home to her family." Savannah Guthrie, who has been absent from her hosting duties amid the crisis, broke her silence on social media, asking for prayers and support. "Please pray for my mom," she wrote, expressing hope for her safe return. The investigation remains active, with authorities exploring whether the abduction was targeted or random. No suspects have been publicly identified, but the sheriff's office is urging anyone with information to come forward. Tips can be submitted anonymously through a sheriff's office tip line. The case has drawn national attention due to Guthrie's high-profile daughter, who has appeared on the Today Show throughout her daughter's tenure there.
All right. I'm going to tell everybody that's listening right now, buckle up, because we're about to spend some time on this particular story. Mm-hmm. Many things to unpack here. First of all, obviously tragic. There is a ton of attention on this case. This is the absolute number one talked about news story in the country and has been since it occurred. And, you know, in some ways it makes me think it's kind of a shame because this happens every day to people who aren't famous. Mm-hmm. But when it happens to someone famous, it is all hands on deck. And I'm glad it is. Yeah. But it does make me, I'm sure there's people out there that are like, well, this same thing happened to me. And the president did not come out and say the FBI or all the federal resources are at your disposal. Mm-hmm. That is human nature. And unfortunately something that occurs when people are very high profile. You know, they just kind of got strings to pull, and it seems like all hands on deck. And look, this lady seemed like just a jewel and a church-going good woman, mm-hmm. and I'm glad that all hands are on deck for her. Yeah,
she needs to be found. But some of the other things that are just real disconcerting is that, like, she's handicapped, you know, that she couldn't have walked far.
Well, she's not handicapped. She's 88 years old, and she can only walk about 50 yards before she gets very tired and needs to sit.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying she didn't go off walking on her own. She you know, obviously had to have been coerced or brought further than she.
Yeah, there's some suspicion there, and we're gonna unpack that now. Some things that have come out, and I do want to preface this with there's a press conference at 11 o'clock this morning from the recording time that we're recording now. And so facts obviously change. Things get discovered. We are made aware of things that we're not made aware of when we're recording this. So if something releases that we weren't made aware of, it wasn't because we were not giving you all the information. We just didn't have it. I want to say a couple of things about the sheriff in this case. So look, this guy is about one of the most likable guys you'll ever meet in your life on camera, but you can tell he is absolutely shell-shocked at the attention he's getting right now. As a matter of fact, I like him because he comes out on camera and says, I'm not used to this. I'm walking in a press room and there are 400 people in here, and y'all are asking me questions I don't even know how to answer because from an investigation standpoint, you have to be real careful what you release.
Got to protect your investigation at all costs.
You do. And so this is a situation where the press is asking things like, was there any forced entry? And he didn't want to answer that question. Some of the things that they're not answering are a little bit frustrating. You can answer if there was forced entry. That's not going to affect your investigation to say, well, a window was busted, things of that nature. Now, they have come out since that initial press conference and said that there were some things pointing to some sort of forced entry. I do know, I know from reports that the Ring cameras were busted, and they weren't actually Ring cameras, they were Nest cameras. I'm not sure what the difference is there, but there is some sort of there's some differences, I think, in the way that they store video between like a Nest and a Ring camera. A Nest, I know you can't talk back and forth there. Maybe you can. I don't know. But there was a big deal over clarifying that because originally people were saying Ring cameras. It was not. It was a Nest camera. And those were busted in both the front and back of the house. And I mean, busted to pieces. So the person that did this knew they were there. That's the first clue. I know that Ashley Banfield has come out and said that she has some information from a source that the brother-in-law was being looked at. And I want to caution everybody quickly not to jump to a ton of conclusions on that because everybody at the start of an investigation outside of the investigator is a suspect. And usually it's the last person that saw him And then they worked their way out of that circle. Well, the last person that saw them was the brother-in-law and the sister of the, what was the lady's name that's from the Today Show?
Savannah.
Oh. So Savannah's sister and her husband, they impounded their vehicle. And, you know, I'm sure they asked them for their cell phones and things like that. Does not mean they had anything to do with this. We've seen this in a lot of cases where everybody comes out and they jump on these suspects right from the beginning. And it ends up, those aren't the people. I remember one case in particular, Elizabeth Smart, where Elizabeth Smart was kidnapped and everybody was convinced that a family member did it. And come to find out it was not. It was a random, basically like a random street walking couple that took her that were absolutely totally nuts. So you got to be careful. Everybody is a suspect from the beginning. Doesn't mean he didn't. Doesn't mean he did.
Yeah. And obviously none of us know what's going on here, but, you know, and I read into things, I know I do, but the fact that she was taken on Saturday and then her pacemaker stopped syncing with the Apple device Sunday morning, makes my brain kind of go all over the place, because if it was someone that knew her and was really trying to extort or something along those lines, they would have brought the medication because they would know that she needs to have it. You know, why would they let her die if that was part of even the plan here? Because there's so many what ifs up in the air. So to me, that kind of says, well, maybe it was someone who didn't know her, or else why would you take someone that you knew might die the following day if they didn't take their medicine? But then again, why do you take an 80-something-year-old? Like, what do you know, were they focused on Savannah and they're wanting to get all this money out of Samantha Guthrie because of her status and her wealth? So to say it's random seems weird, because why would you randomly kidnap somebody if you didn't know if they had anything to give?
Well, from what I understand, her mother was also extremely wealthy.
Yeah, I was looking at that.
She comes from a very wealthy family. Her mom lived in a mansion.
Yeah, I was looking at the house too on you know, some of the video stuff, but I'm just...
So they had their own money, but, you know, I certainly think just because you know someone doesn't mean you know their medicine they're taking. A gardener would know you, but they don't necessarily know what you're taking. I certainly don't think this was a total stranger to these people.
I'm just not going to take... And I'm just thinking about me, like, and I'm not a bad guy, but I'm just not going to go take an 80-something-year-old woman who can barely walk unless I feel very confident that I'm going to succeed in getting something from that. I would rather take a victim that I could keep for a while until I got my ransom. And if she stopped, and I know that sounds dark, I'm just trying to think through it. You know, if her pacemaker stopped working the very next morning, you know, maybe she was, you know, killed for not a ransom.
Well,
maybe,
your pacemaker can stop working and your heart still beat. It just doesn't keep it beating. Yeah, I mean, people get pacemakers inserted. Yeah,
but it's not syncing with any of her devices. So, I mean, I guess I don't know. Does distance change that? Does your pacemaker unsync if you get too far away from the device?
I can't answer that question.
Yeah, I don't know. So there's a lot of questions here, things I don't know. So, and that's part of it. We don't know, you know. But this is definitely crazy. But is it crazy because she's famous, the mother of a famous person, or is it crazy because of what's happening? That's kind of, you know.
I think the attention to it now is obviously because of who her daughter is. Yeah. And, you know, the daughter has come out. Want to talk about the ransom note real quick, because that's been a high point of contention, because the police have not confirmed a ransom note as of yet. Now, that doesn't mean one does not exist, because they haven't denied it either. They were asked a direct question and they could have said, oh, there's been no ransom note, and they didn't.
I think they're trying to vet it if it's real or not, or if this is just some vulture who's going to try to take advantage because of the Bitcoin aspect. Like,
well, I'm gonna give you my reasoning for thinking that it's legit, and this is just my, you know, spitballing on this, but they responded. The family, actually, the first time that this host of the Today Show has come out and responded to anything was to this ransom note, and she talked directly to the person, whoever that may be, that allegedly wrote this ransom note, and she basically said, you know, we need some sort of proof that my mother is still alive. And, you know, we're in a day and age, people, keep in mind, where you can fake a voice real easy. So the proof of life, it used to be, I want to hear her call me on the phone or him and tell me, hey, I'm alive and they have me and pay whatever. You can't do that anymore because the issue is anybody can fake a voice. Not only that, you can fake pictures very easily with AI. So that's some negatives to AI that have affected this a little bit. But there are some things that, from what I understand, were possibly said in that ransom note that only her mother would know.
Yeah.
And so we'll see what transpires. But that doesn't mean she's alive
either. She could have said that at the very beginning.
It doesn't. It doesn't. And, you know, usually when you have a ransom situation, those notes are received within 24 hours. This was 3 days later. So that is really strange as well. It could be just a bad actor trying to get some Bitcoin and seeing an opportunity. I feel sorry for them because they're going to get caught, whoever that was.
Yeah. Just terrible. I'm really hoping and praying that they jump ship. They just abandon the old lady and someone finds her and can bring her home.
I agree. All right, let's go back to Louisiana. We're going to go to Lafayette for this story. Pretty different story for you today. And obviously this is funny, but not funny. A 35-year-old by the name of Rutledge Diaz IV of Lafayette, Louisiana, was arrested by detectives from the Louisiana State Police Special Victims Unit on one count of human trafficking. Now, the arrest stems from an investigation initiated in January of 2026 into human trafficking involving online platforms meant to connect families with nannies. Investigators determined that Diaz posed as an individual seeking a nanny to care for a person with special needs, but his actual intent was to deceive women into performing intimate tasks, such as changing diapers as part of an apparent diaper fetish. Diaper fetish. I changed diapers in my day. I got 3 kids. And I sure didn't develop no fetish from it. That's for damn sure. Yeah. He allegedly lured at least one victim to his home under this pretense. Following his arrest, he was booked into the Lafayette Parish Correctional Center with a bond set at $25,000. And this surprisingly marks Diaz's third arrest on similar human trafficking charges related to this type of scheme. He was also arrested in November of 2019 and December of 2021, both involving comparable tactics. In the 2019 case, he was arrested in New Orleans, initially reported to Jefferson Parish after posing as a fictitious handicapped brother named Corey to deceive home health care providers into changing his diapers and treating him like a child. He pleaded guilty to those charges in 2020 and was placed on probation. The 2021 arrest, similar pattern, also leading to a human trafficking charge.
I think he needs to be a sex offender. I absolutely think that he needs to be a sex offender. This is a fetish. It's sexually driven, and he's bringing people in, and even though he's the one that's being touched, he's having other people touch him for pleasure, and that's gross, and it's not fair to the person who did it, and that would make me feel horrible when I realized the game, that was going on there. I would feel gross. Why are you getting just probation for this? There is a victim to it. Sorry, there is. There's a victim to this.
Oh, there's no doubt. I don't think there's any dispute over that.
Yeah, and someone who's... it takes a very special person to take care of people with special needs. It does. People, or even adults that can't move and need assistance, and they wear diapers and they need to be changed. That's a very humiliating experience for some people. It's also a very private situation. And then for you to take these people who have a heart and a desire to help people and use it for a sexual fetish, like, you're freaking gross, dude. Get a girlfriend.
Yeah. Get a girlfriend.
Try.
Yeah. I think he's going to struggle with that considering his fetish, but you're right. There's the human side of that. And there's also bro, what the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah.
That you think it's fun to get diapers on, and I don't know if he...
he was. They wouldn't change him if he wasn't shitting in them. You nasty ass. You are a nasty. I did. I went there. You're nasty. And I'd be afraid for him, and people will probably come at me for this, but I'd be afraid for him to be near kids because if he likes the diapers, I would not even want him near children. I really, truly feel, even if he's just tier 1, because there's 3 tiers of sex offenders, even if he's just tier 1, I firmly believe that this should be a sex offense. That's gross.
Well,
if you want to know how I really feel, Jim.
The problem with this is now this is the 3rd time. This guy's obviously got some sort of sickness with this.
Yeah.
And he needs help. And he needs to be in a mental institution somewhere where he can get help and figure out why he is sexually aroused by this.
I don't know, but you can be a freak, but find somebody who wants to change a diaper. Don't trick people into it.
Right.
That's malice. That's not fair.
That's right.
All right. Now, this one's bizarre here, but there's no crime, obviously, that's going to be related to this story, but it's so shocking and tragic and scary that we wanted to cover it. And we're going to have to go all the way to Nigeria to do it.
Nigeria? Never been to Nigeria.
Me either. It's like half a world away.
We as a...
as a show.
Yeah.
I was like, why would I go to Nigeria?
I haven't been there either.
Yeah, but you're right. This is strange. All right. So Ifunanya Nwajin, the talented African singer known to fans as Nanya and a standout contestant on The Voice Nigeria, has tragically passed away at the age of 26 after a snake bite in her apartment. The announcement came on Sunday via a heartfelt Facebook post from Sam Izugwu of a choir, who shared, "With painful heart, we announced the demise of Ifunanya Nwajin Nanya. The choir hailed her as an emerging talent on the cusp of sharing her incredible talent with the world." Now, according to details shared with BBC Africa by a close friend, Nwajin was asleep in her home on Saturday when she suddenly awoke up in agony from a bite on her leg. She was quickly taken to a local clinic, but it lacked the necessary anti-venom. Transferred to a hospital, she was starting to struggle to breathe and then struggling to communicate and was relying on hand gestures while medical staff attempted to stabilize her. The facility reportedly only had one of the 2 required antivenoms. Izugwu rushed out to find the missing dose, but Nwajin succumbed before he was able to return. Animal control later responded to her apartment, capturing 2 snakes. Social media footage captured the scene, and one onlooker exclaimed, "It's a cobra," as the reptiles were removed. Nwajin gained recognition on season 3 of The Voice Nigeria, delivering a captivating audition of Rihanna's Take a Bow that turned judges 2 of their chairs. She chose to join Team Waje and progressed to the knockout stage before her elimination. At the time of her death, she was gearing up for her debut solo concert and had hinted at a collaboration with Nigerian trumpeter T-Brass. In a moving Instagram tribute, T-Brass mourned her as an irreplaceable loss to the Abuja Music Society and Nigeria at large. He praised her unique voice, storytelling through music, and cultural representation. Nanya was a true artist who left an irreplaceable mark.
Man, that is no joke. Bit by a cobra while you sleep.
How does a cobra get in? I mean, I know it's Nigeria, but that's scary. Nigeria. 2 of them came in her house, got up in her bed.
Well, I mean, here in Louisiana, snakes get in houses, and people find them not all the time, but I'm sure it's more common than people think.
This is a evil snake, though. He went up in her bed.
Yeah, they'll go in your bed.
Scared of that ever happening. I'm serious. At night,
check that bed every night before you go to bed.
I ain't even gonna lie to you. When I go to the bathroom at night, I turn the light on and look in the toilet because I have this fear of a snake coming out of my toilet.
Oh my God.
I think I saw it on Rescue 911 when I was a kid and I never got over it. Oh God.
Scarred you for life?
Yeah, I ain't getting bit on my butt by no cobra.
Wow. Yeah, that's
golly.
That's horrible.
Poor baby. And she knew she was dying too.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Cobra. Wow. Mm-hmm. All right, we're going to go back to the great 50 states, and we're going to take you to Indiana.
All right.
And this has just been a huge trending story, and that is about Hailey Buzbee, a missing teen. Her body has been recovered in Ohio. 17 years old. She vanished from her home in Fishers, Indiana, nearly a month ago. Finally, they have found her remains in rural Perry County, Ohio. Authorities believe she died shortly after her disappearance, which incidentally was January 5th of 2026. And a 39-year-old man by the name of Tyler Thomas has been arrested in connection with the case. Now, to catch up quickly, Buzbee was last seen around 10 p.m. on January 5th in the Enclave at Vermilion neighborhood near Flat Fork Creek Park. This is in, obviously, her town. Her family reported her missing the following day. That prompted an intensive search by the Fisher Police Department, and the FBI got involved. Investigators then determined that Buzbee had connections with Thomas through, guess what? Online freaking gaming. Mm-hmm. My biggest pet peeve in the world. He admitted to picking her up from her home that night, and initially he claimed he dropped her off along a road in western Ohio.
Of course he did.
Authorities later deemed that statement to be false. Searches were conducted at Thomas's residence in Columbus in a short-term rental property near Hocking Hills, where evidence confirmed that Buzbee had been present. On February 1st of 2026, Thomas, accompanied by his attorney, led FBI agents and local law enforcement to the location of her body. So there you have it. No denying it now, right? Mm-hmm. The attorney then goes out and says, well, literally, he says, quote, "We're all working toward one common goal," and his clients wanted to provide closure to this family, and that's why he cooperated.
I'm sure it wasn't a plea deal opportunity, whatever.
So he said our client insisted upon that. Thomas of Columbus, Ohio, appeared in court. He faced charges of tampering with evidence and pandering sexually oriented matter involving a minor. He's been arrested, got a $1.5 million bond. The investigation obviously remains ongoing. But I'm going to scream this to the rafters until the cows come home, and that is, get in your kids' business and get them off the online freaking games.
Yeah. I mean, what more needs to keep happening? What more? And, yesterday, my daughter, one of my children, was at school, and her cell phone, she's not allowed to bring it. And I thought of you, Jim. I mean, because we talk about this so much, but her phone went boop, and I just happened to look over at it, and it said Roblox message. And I was like, so obviously we're going to have some discussions on that, because I don't know how she even got the Roblox on her phone, because we have to approve the app. So I'm going to have to figure out what happened there. But this guy, though, if you look at his photos, and I know people have said that's judgy to look at the photos, but no, he's a good looking dude. This does not look like a scary person. This certainly does not look like a guy that's going to presumably take you. He obviously has some sexual motive here because of the messages that went on there. But like his posts say, love to travel, explore, and experiment. I'm from an island, but soon to be hiking up some mountains or in the Midwest. He just seems like and she's a beautiful girl. It's just sick.
17-year-old.
Yeah. She's just a kid.
It's a grown-ass man. And let me tell you, Roblox is a breeding ground for nothing but pedophiles. They ought to outlaw that app, in my opinion.
Yeah, they've got to get back to the drawing board, but it's too big. It is too big at this point. It's a moneymaker, and there's going to be people that are getting filthy rich over it and are going to fight. Safety be damned. And we keep reporting on this. We keep reporting on this. By the way, I just got an update on my phone while we were recording, and it said bond was set at $1.8 million for the shooters in the Mardi Gras parade that we just covered. So good. I'm glad they gave him a high bond, All right, let's go to Florida. Now, Jim and I had discussed this incident yesterday, right? Because we were just so mind-boggled by it. And I'm curious. Y'all need to message us in the comments on Facebook or whatever. What would you do? I seriously want to know, what would you do? Put yourself in this position. Because a couple has come forward acknowledging that they are the family that is suing a Florida fertility clinic after they were implanted with the wrong embryo. And they are asking for help locating their daughter's biological parents. Tiffany Score and Stephen Mills made a social media post asking for prayers as they navigate, quote, this deeply confusing and painful time with their daughter Shay, born December 11th. They also expressed unbearable fear that their daughter might be taken from them at any time. I have 1 million things I want to say and so many emotions I wish I could share. But for now, this is what we were able to tell you. Due to a medical error, the wrong embryo was implanted by the doctor. Shay is not genetically related to either Steve or me. This is according to the woman that carried this baby for 9 months. While we are profoundly grateful to have Shay in our lives and love her immeasurably, we also recognize that we have a moral obligation to find her genetic parents. The Post went on to acknowledge this case has the potential for many outcomes because they likely will not comment further until their legal counsel has an update, although they did have a final request. If you have any information on the family who might be on the other side of this, please contact us. So questions were raised after they gave birth at the hospital under an emergency C-section, and baby Shay was pulled out a different race than her parents, who are white. Testing confirmed the baby had, quote, no genetic relationship to either of the plaintiffs. So 2 white people go in to have their baby they have prayed for, worked so hard, to get, and she comes out a different race. How could that even happen? So the couple underwent in vitro fertilization treatment at IVF Life Incorporated, doing business as Fertility Center of Orlando. 3 viable embryos were created using their sperm and eggs. In March of 2025, Score was implanted with an embryo, which resulted in Shay's birth. Score wrote, despite the mix-up, it resulted in a healthy baby girl whom we love more than words can express. Score's sister established a GoFundMe account to help cover extensive medical expenses, including prior IVF costs, hospital bills, and mental health therapies. Money raised will also support efforts to locate baby Shay's biological family and to find Score and Mill's genetic embryos, which may or may not still exist. The couple also hope to retrieve Score's eggs that were frozen at a different clinic 7 years ago, a process that could cost thousands. The emotional trauma produced by such a scenario is impossible to comprehend. Desperately wanting to celebrate the miracle that is birth while battling utter shock and confusion. Score's sister, Alexa Score, wrote, not to mention being unable to talk to family and friends about their grief. This complex situation brings up multiple questions. Who and where are the baby's biological parents? Where are Tiffany and Steve's embryos? Were their embryos implanted into someone else? Do Tiffany and Steve have living, breathing children in this world? The possibilities are hard to fathom. As far as a response from the fertility clinic, the Fertility Center of Orlando says we are actively cooperating with an investigation to support one of our patients in determining the source of an error that resulted in the birth of a child who is not genetically related to them. According to the statement, multiple entities are involved in this process, and all parties are working diligently to help identify when and where the error may have occurred. Our priority remains transparency and the well-being of the patient and child involved. We will continue to assist in any way that we can, regardless of the outcome of the investigation. And if you look at this photo, there is no denying that this child is not theirs.
I mean, first of all, I don't know what other adjective you could come up with, but error just doesn't seem like harsh enough for this screw up. I mean, obviously there's not a whole lot funny about this, but, one of the things that I wonder is, had this been a baby of the same race, would they have ever even known? Or how long would it have taken them to realize? And how many people are out there that, I mean, this just so happened to be a black baby that was born to 2 white parents. So It's obvious. But I wonder how many people that have had IVF are now like, I'm going to go make sure. Yeah. I'm going to go test DNA. And it's obviously this baby has no fault in this.
Right. And neither do they. I mean, they've done everything they're supposed to do.
They did everything. That's what you call a jacked up freaking situation.
Well, and it becomes so complex too, because you carry it as a mother who has carried children. You develop a bond with that child inside of you. I'm sorry. You feel that baby move. You go through the aches and the pains and the throwing up and everything. And you just wait for the day to hold this child. And then the child comes out. You're naturally going to be, I don't care if that baby's black. You're naturally going to go, oh my God, I just gave birth to this baby. But you look like, no.
Your first reaction would be, wait a minute.
No, I think the instant moment of
what? You're telling me if a black baby popped out and it was you and your white husband, you wouldn't be like, this can't, what?
Hang on. What I'm saying is, in that instant moment of the baby being laid on your chest and you have gone through IVF and all of that, I'm sure there was just emotion all over because they love this baby, but then you're looking at it going, there's no way in hell this is my child. How could this be? And then you add the race component, and this becomes very complex because now how do you talk to people about it? Oh, this isn't our baby. I gave birth to it. It's not mine.
Well, I mean, it would be quite clear.
I know.
There's no hiding this. And,
I know.
And, obviously nobody's throwing shade on the baby. This ain't the baby's fault, but this is a major fuck up by this hospital, and they need to be sued.
Absolutely.
You can't make that mistake.
No, and what do you do here now? What do you do here? Because I'm telling you, you are instantly biologically wired to love the child you gave birth to. You are. I believe that within my soul. I just believe it.
But you've never had that situation.
I haven't. But do you think she wants to give that little baby up? Because I'm going to tell you, I don't know that she does. I think it's more about where are my biological children. I have this child I gave birth to, but where are my biological children? I don't know that she's looking necessarily to give this baby away because she fears the baby being taken.
She's looking for the mom and the dad.
Yeah, but she said, and now I fear that they may take her from me.
Oh, well.
So I'm telling you from a mother's standpoint, this is very difficult. And how the fuck do you take sperm? You know what I'm saying? It's not like you're carrying around a damn teddy bear. You've got a man's sperm. How the hell do you not double, triple, quadruple check before you do this?
Human error. That's
Human
exactly
error.
what it is.
Nah,
Human error.
Someone's got to be held accountable for this.
Oh, they're going to be.
When I go to the hospital,
no doubt.
they make me verify my name, my date of birth 45 billion times and scan my band and look and compare it.
I'm sure they have all those checks and balances, but I'm sure that a human somewhere along the line skipped a step. That's what happened. Obviously. Or this could be like that story I covered back in the Gap where the doctor was letting men give their semen. And then remember, he was and using his own semen. The doctor was using his own semen to get that woman. Remember all those kids I
and
do
stuff?
remember that. But this is a black baby and a white couple. If you're trying to get away with something like that, you're at least going to use the same race.
No. What if you're not trying? What if you did it just to have the power to do it?
I mean, I think it was just a human error. And it's inexcusable. And I think that they need to pay a lot of money. That clinic.
Yeah, I feel bad for these people. They can't win. No matter what they do, they can't win. That's terrible.
Yeah, it's horrible.
But she's beautiful. We should post a picture to show her. And she's a beautiful little girl.
I'm going to post it.
Okay.
All right, let's go to Florida, and we are going to talk about a situation. Look, I don't like to vacuum. As a matter of fact, I don't like it so much that I don't have any carpet in my house. Everything is wood-like ceramic tile.
I've only been in your kitchen.
You get 6 feet of water in your house and have to drag out carpet.
Oh, yeah, the flood.
Out of the entire house, and you'll say, I'm never getting carpet again. So I have waterproofed ceramic tile.
I threw a fit in my own house yesterday real quick because children destroy carpet too.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I need to get on board with you.
And pets and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what, it's a nice life. Something spills, you just wipe it up. No big deal. All right, so we're going to go to Florida, but I'm going to tell you about someone who enjoys vacuuming.
Really?
I never liked it, even when I had carpet. Mm-hmm. 51-year-old man from Florida was actually arrested for exposing his sexual organs following reports of him engaging in a sexual act with a vacuum cleaner outside a residence at the Windsor Hills Resort. This is in the Kissimmee area of Florida. He is facing 51 years old, but he's facing charges in which authorities say he had some public indecency, I would call it that, and inappropriate conduct that was actually captured on video. So they have video of this. According to the sheriff's office, deputies responded to the resort after receiving calls about a partially clothed man exposing himself in front of a home. Witnesses provided statements and cell footage showing Westerhold allegedly engaging in a sex performance with a vacuum cleaner. By the time law enforcement arrived, the suspect had fled the scene, but evidence led to an arrest warrant. The Windsor Hills, which is a popular vacation spot near Orlando, it's known for family-friendly amenities, including water slides and pools, and of course, this is right by Disney World, y'all. So it's very family friendly. It has not issued a public statement. I would imagine they're trying to come up with something, but social media is on fire with this one because let's face it, not every day are you arrested for having sex with a vacuum cleaner. Right. There's questions like, what's the suction power? And there is no way a vacuum can consent. Those were two that I saw under there that I thought were hilarious. Now, as funny as this is...
let me add one. He likes them hoes.
Oh, Lord. Oh, corny.
That was good. That was good.
Now, as funny as all of this is, y'all, this particular guy has had some prior disturbing run-ins with what is considered this kid-friendly resort because he owns 2 timeshares inside of this resort. And that's how he's able to, 2. He's got money. And probably sells them, rents out weekends.
Oh, I thought you meant vacuums.
No, 2 timeshares, girl.
Sorry.
So he has a history, though, going back to at least December of 2025. He was caught nude, partially clothed in common areas, hallways. People were capturing him on Ring cameras. So this guy's got a little bit of an...
He's an exhibitionist.
He's kind of like our diaper guy.
Yeah, maybe he should team up with Diaper Guy and put a diaper on. That would actually fix what he's doing. He'd be covered.
Right.
And then the other
Good
guy,
thinking.
wait a minute. And then the other guy just needs a vacuum. Oh my God, I just solved this. You give your diaper to him, you give your vacuum to him, everyone's happy, stay inside. Now we're going to go to Anaheim, California. A 23-year-old exotic dancer from Anaheim has been extradited from Mexico and charged with the brutal murder of her boyfriend, whose decapitated body was discovered in her apartment last summer. Alyssa Marie Lira faces 1 felony count of murder along with a sentencing enhancement for using a deadly weapon in the death of 55-year-old Enrique Gonzalez Carbajal, according to the Orange County District Attorney's Office. If convicted, she could face up to 26 years in prison. The gruesome discovery occurred on August 25th, 2025, when police responded to a welfare check at Lira's residence and found Gonzalez Carbajal's headless body inside. Anaheim homicide detectives swiftly identified Lira as the prime suspect and determined she had fled across the border to Mexico shortly after the killing. The couple, who had reportedly been dating for only about 2 months, had met while Lira was working as an exotic dancer at a local club. A multi-agency manhunt followed, involving Anaheim police homicide detectives, the Orange County District Attorney's Organized Crime Unit, and the FBI, including its attaches in Mexico and Mexican authorities. Lira was located and arrested in Mexico on January 22nd, 26th, before being handed over to the U.S. investigators the next day at the port of entry. Orange County District Attorney Todd Spitzer described the collaborative effort as a demonstration of tenacity and dedication amongst local, federal, and international partners to identify a cold-blooded killer, track her down in a foreign country, and bring her back to the United States to face the full weight of the law. She remains in custody at the Orange County Jail without bail and is scheduled for arraignment on February 13th, 2026.
Damn, don't mess with these exotic dancers, guys out there listening.
They
will behead you.
They don't love you.
They don't love you.
They don't.
You can't fix them.
No. And
they're broken.
And I'm not victim blaming.
Beautifully broken.
Yeah, I'm not victim blaming here, but this bitch cut his head off.
Yeah, she cut his head off.
Like, ruthless. And if you look at her mugshot, she's just a pretty woman. It's like, she doesn't look like a scary individual, but she straight up will decapitate you.
See.
Wow.
Yeah. She looks crazy to me. I'm going to post her mugshot. That chick looks like someone to cut your head off, in my opinion.
I don't know. I think
she definitely got something in those eyes that I can see. Yeah.
Well,
she's waiting for her time.
There's a few things in life I'm certain of, and thinking that the stripper loves you is one I'm certain is not true. I would not bring her home.
There you go.
Damn.
All right. Well, we've got a little treat for y'all. So if you're listening to this on the regular feed, you are going to be bidding us goodbye for now because the show is over. But we are introducing a couple of new segments, and we're going to call this Crime Wire Weekly Overtime. Now, for our Patreon members, and when I say our, Kelly has a Patreon on Unspeakable, a true crime podcast by Kelly Jennings. Jim Chapman has one on Exposed Scandalous Files of the Elite. A lot of you listen that have come from my show. A lot of you listen that have come from Kelly's show.
Yeah.
So we don't expect you to have to go join one of the other's Patreon. That's why we put it on both. We put the video episodes of every one of these episodes on that feed. So you get the added bonus of seeing us, actually, because I know all y'all are dying to see us actually talk about these news stories, not just hear us. So you get that added little bit of bonus as well. But what we are doing from here on forward is we're going overtime. So we've got 4 additional stories that if you're on our Patreon at the mid-level or higher, you're going to have access to this as part of your membership, and we're going to cover even more. We're going to go more in depth. So what we're going to do today is, rather than in this story right here, for those of you that are listening on the regular feed, we're just going to continue on so you can see what it's like to get access to that overtime feature on the Patreon. So we're actually not leaving the regular audience yet, but after this particular episode, we will be joining on Patreon for that overtime edition just for Patreon members.
That's
Does that
awesome.
make sense?
Yeah, I think it's cool.
I just sprung that on Kelly too. She's like, what are you talking about? Like, I didn't know anything about this. I sent her a little artwork the other day and I said, I have an idea.
He said, and then he wouldn't tell me what it was.
It's a wonderful idea.
It is.
And we always want to give our Patreon members and our supporters that pay for us, you know, to do this show and support what we do. We want to give them something extra whenever we can do that. And this is something else that we can do. All right. So Patreon members, we are here with Overtime. It is a new segment, Kelly, that we're putting together just for our Patreon members. Just give them a little lagniappe, a little something extra, as we say here in South Louisiana, right? And we've had a lot of people, I know I get a lot of messages. People are like, we want to hear this show every freaking day.
Yeah, and can you
I mean, I really do get that a lot.
We could do it, too. Like, if there was time, there's so much crime. Like, it's sad. We could.
Yeah, you certainly won't run out of content.
No.
There's no doubt about it. And so this is maybe a way of easing into doing that. We want to give our Patreon members something a little extra for all they do for us, because we're so thankful. So thank you for joining us, Patreon supporters, first of all, for this first edition of Overtime.
I don't think people realize, real quick, too, I know you want those stories, but I don't think people realize that doing these shows costs money. You know, that we actually, this is a business, and so we love doing it, but our supporters make that
they make it absolutely. We couldn't do the show without Patreons.
And that's not like we couldn't do it without you. Like I'm Taylor Swift. I'm saying we literally couldn't do it. We literally could not do it without our supporters. And this means everything. One of my friends, Miss Cindy, she's a local custodian at a school, just messaged me and said, I love you so much. I'm so glad to see y'all doing these new shows and these new things. These are great. So thank y'all so much for the support, really.
Yeah, we really do appreciate it. Huge stuff. So let's get into it with some additional news stories that we're going to cover today. And we're going to start out in Ohio. And a 29-year-old woman has been convicted of attempted murder in Ohio. And this is some pretty wild stuff we're about to get into that you're not going to believe. Her husband and boyfriend were at a party.
Excuse me?
Yep. I knew when I said that it would create pause for you. Her husband and her boyfriend, okay? So they're at a New Year's Eve party. That's right.
How could this possibly go wrong,
Yeah,
Jim?
you can already see something amiss. So her husband, her boyfriend, they're both present at a party, and she don't like that, and she ends up shooting an innocent bystander in the abdomen.
I'm not laughing. I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, because this dude almost died, and you laughing.
I'm not laughing. I'm just, two men are there you don't want there, so you just shoot another one?
Right.
Wow, let's make that hole deeper.
Well, her name is Olivia Clendenin, and she was found guilty last week by a Warren County jury on charges including attempted murder, 2 counts of felonious assault, and illegal discharge of a firearm. That's serious charges. Yeah. Attempted murder. Come on, she's going to do some jail time. The incident unfolded in the early morning hours of January 1st of 2025, so about a year ago, at 5 a.m. in the morning. Nothing good happens at 5 a.m. in the morning unless you're getting up for work, right?
And that ain't even good. But
and this is a New Year's Eve party, so it means that they've been up all the way till 5 in the morning.
They are lit.
According to prosecutors, she became enraged upon discovering that her estranged husband and her boyfriend were attending the same gathering and had learned of their simultaneous relationships with her. So
she was busted then.
Right at this party, mind you. She reportedly left the party pissed off. She returned shortly later. At that point, she's driving her mother's 2017 Jeep Grand Cherokee through the front yard.
Yeah.
And she is doing Grand Theft Auto style, unleashing gunfire toward the house. Total drive-by shooting, driving through the front yard. The shots strike an uninvolved guest. This poor person is sitting on the porch, just sitting on the porch. It hits him in the abdomen, nearly cost him his life. That's a major gunshot in the abdomen. You can bleed out quick. The victim, whose identity has not been publicly released, was simply invited to the celebration. He had no connection at all with this dispute. The prosecutor said the victim did live, but was in serious conditions. And of course, McClendon's husband told police at the scene that he suspected that she was the shooter. So she flew by in her mama's car. Nobody knew whose car it was, but her husband must have got some sort of glance at her, said, I think that's who did it.
Or he just knew this bitch was crazy.
Right. And so she ends up getting caught, obviously, convicted. She has not been sentenced yet, but she's facing a minimum of 10 years in prison, which I found strange. You would think for attempted murder, it would be higher than that, but it must be a third-degree attempted murder or something.
I don't know.
Yeah, 10 years in prison minimum, according to
minimum.
What was said in the article.
Okay.
Minimum.
Okay.
I think she's going to end up with more than that. But it got me thinking. It got me thinking about some notorious crimes over time that involved love triangles, right? Because people do some crazy shit when they're in love.
Dude, or when
especially when they're in love with someone that someone else is in love with.
Yeah.
And they do some wild shit. So I'm going to ask you some questions, Kelly.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you if you remember these cases.
Okay.
So,
by the way, I was not prepared for this.
No.
He's springing it on me, so.
Yep.
All
yep. Claire Harris case in Houston, Texas. This occurred in 2002. You got any familiarity with that?
Not by name. Maybe if.
So I'll tell you what actually occurred. Orthodontist Claire Harris discovered her husband David's affair with his receptionist. Her name was Gail Bridges. In a fit of rage, Harris confronts them at a hotel. She runs over David multiple times with her Mercedes in the parking lot, kills him while his teenage daughter was watching from the car. Harris was convicted of murder. She served 15 years in prison before her release in 2018. She's actually out now. The case became a media spectacle and actually inspired a TV movie called Crimes of Passion.
I'm appalled that you get 15 years. I mean, that's it?
That's it. That's it. It was a crime of passion.
Yeah. But you followed him he went to the hotel. Anyway.
Yeah.
Wow. No, and the child watch, that's crazy.
Well, certainly, yeah. Maybe you can do a unspeakable on that.
Maybe I should, because I'm like really intrigued by that.
All right, the next one, and I know you've heard of this one because I knew this one right off. Pamela Smart.
Yeah.
Okay, so New Hampshire high school media coordinator Pamela Smart had an affair with a 15-year-old student. His name was Billy Flynn. To continue the relationship, she manipulates him and his friends into murdering her husband. Greg Smart staged it as a burglary, and she was convicted of conspiracy to commit murder. She actually got life in prison, and the scandal inspired the film To Die For, starring Nicole Kidman.
I need to go watch that. I've never seen it, but now that I know that connection, I might want to go check that out. I want to do that case too. That's some devious shit there.
Yeah.
When you're pulling out a 15-year-old boy's hormonal,
happens every day on Bad Teachers. I can tell you that. All right, Devin Guzman. How about that one? 2002, Massachusetts.
Is it Guzman or Guzman?
It's Guzman.
It is? Okay, I don't know. I think I know it then. I did a Guzman story, but I don't.
So you've done Devin Guzman, but not Devin Guzman?
No.
Chick said, is it Guzman or Guzman?
No.
Well, I mean,
no.
Potato, brother.
No, not the Devin part, the last name, because I remember a case of a Guzman, but.
Okay.
Never mind.
Well, this one, he's a teenager. He was caught in a heated lesbian love triangle with his girlfriend. So his girlfriend was a lesbian.
Okay.
Right? So his girlfriend, Carrie Brenner, and
Wait, I do know. Wait, hang on. Carrie was a roommate with the other one, and
well, we need to say the name. Michelle Hazel.
Okay, Michelle. And is she murdered? And then like the car got, I know this one. I do know this one. This is it.
Okay, so let me just tell it.
Okay.
Guzman was found dead in her car with her throat slashed.
Yep.
Hetzel and her husband, who helped cover it up, were convicted of murder with jealousy as the motive. Both received life sentences.
I do know that one, but
I didn't know that one. I wasn't familiar with it.
Potato, but Guzman.
Guzman. If it was Guzman, you would have heard of it. But
No.
Guzman.
No, but that's how they said it, and so it stuck in my head.
How about Evelyn Nesbitt? This is like one of the most popular murders of all time.
I know it, but I don't know.
Surely. It's way back in 1906.
Nesbitt. I know Nesbitt.
Okay. But do you know Nesbot?
No.
Is it Nesbitt or Nesbot?
Nesbitt or Nesboot? No.
Well, Evelyn Nesbitt, this is known as the murder of the century. She was a model, she was an actress, and she was involved with a rich architect by the name of Stanford White, who allegedly assaulted her as a teen. She later married a millionaire by the name of Harry Thaw, who was obsessed with White. Thaw shot and killed him during a rooftop theater performance at Madison Square Garden. The trial was a tabloid sensation back in those days, and he was found not guilty by reason of insanity and spent years in an asylum.
So I know about
Evelyn Nesbitt.
I know the husband part of that, but I didn't know the whole story. So that's wild.
Yeah, that one goes back a ways.
Yeah.
How about Rachel Wade and Sarah Ludeman? 2009, Florida.
I might know I don't know the names a lot of times, but I know the case, or vice versa. It's weird.
Yeah, this was a pretty bad case. Teens Rachel Wade and Sarah Ludeman both dated the same guy. His name was Josh Camacho.
Oh,
So
I do. I know this.
This led to escalating threats via text and social media. In a confrontation, Wade actually stabbed her romantic rival, if you will, in the heart, killing her. Wade was convicted of second-degree murder, sentenced to 27 years in prison.
Yep, I do. I remember that one.
So that's some wilding
Like,
going off. Look, these love triangles are nothing to play with.
look, I don't know that
That's
I've
proof
ever.
of that.
I don't know that I've ever been in a love triangle before, but I can imagine that. I mean, I've been cheated on before. Before.
Yeah, but that's not a love triangle.
Before I was married. No, but I'm just saying, and that hurt my feelings. But I didn't want to go around like shooting and stabbing people. I just was like, you suck.
You didn't?
No.
You didn't want to kill the dude for cheating on you?
No, I was angry, but I didn't want to kill him. I
Well, that's
wanted
because you're a sane person, Kelly.
allegedly.
Some people are allegedly. Yeah, that's arguably.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah. Okay. Well, people are crazy. I think we've established that, but I don't want to be killing people. I got too much to do, and I got laundry at home. I can't be going on trial.
I got you.
All right. Let's see. A 30-year-old Sunnyside man accused of murdering his girlfriend and embarking on a violent crime spree that included shooting a father fishing with his daughter appeared in, is it Yakima? Have you heard of this before? Yakima County Superior Court? Is it Yakima,
sure.
Washington? Okay.
Sure.
Marking a significant step in a case that has lingered for nearly 5 years. Aurelio Escobar, identified by authorities as a member of the Norteños gang, was extradited from an Oregon prison where he had been serving time for related crimes. He faces charges of first-degree murder in the death of 24-year-old Jennifer Caridad, along with first-degree assault, first-degree robbery, first-degree unlawful possession of a firearm, and 2 counts of attempted first-degree robbery. Escobar entered the courtroom in restraints as prosecutors outlined the allegations stemming from an August 2021 incident. The case began when Caridad was last seen on August 8th, 2021, after being in a relationship with Escobar for 8 months. Prosecutors allege that Escobar shot her in the head, then drove her family's SUV to Bergland Lake in Yakima to dispose of it. The vehicle was discovered the next day, August 9th, with blood stains in the back seat and on a nearby tarp. According to the authorities, there was clothing matching that which Caridad had been wearing. Evidence also suggests Escobar used bleach in an attempt to clean the blood from the car. Shortly after dumping the SUV, Escobar allegedly approached a man who was fishing peacefully with his young daughter at the lake. He brandished a gun, demanded the man's truck, and shot him 3 times when he resisted. The father survived the attack, but the incident sparked a multi-state manhunt as Escobar fled south. The crime spree continued with attempted carjackings at gunpoint in Wapato and Toppenish, Washington. These places, you never realize how many places you've never been when you're trying to pronounce all of this. So I apologize if I'm not getting it right. Escobar switched vehicles multiple times, including in Goldendale before crossing into Oregon. There, he carjacked additional vehicles until a high-speed chase near Medford on August 11th, 2021. It ended in a shootout with Jackson County Sheriff's deputies and Medford police. Escobar was wounded and arrested with a revolver recovered at the scene. No officers were injured. Caridad's partial remains were not discovered until May 2022, found near Satis Longhorn Road in Granger, about 35 miles southeast of Yakima. The King County Medical Examiner's Office confirmed she had been shot in the head, ruling her death a homicide. Family and friends organized searches for additional remains, but the case progressed slowly as Escobar served time in Oregon for unlawful possession and use of a weapon in the shootout, as well as smuggling drugs into prison. Escobar's recent transfer back to Yakima County allows Washington prosecutors to pursue the murder and related charges. No trial date has been set, but the court appearance signals movement towards justice for Caridad and other victims. The police captain, Jay Seeley, previously described the investigation as focused on locating Caridad, whose disappearance was initially tied in Escobar's rampage. Authorities have not released further details on the fishing victim's identity or condition respecting privacy requests.
Well, thank God the person lived, first of all. And man, how terrible. You're minding your own business with your daughter, fishing, and what kind of luck do you have to have a major drug lord pull up to dispose of a vehicle that he just committed a murder with?
Right.
Circumstances are horrible.
This might sound mean, okay, but the last name Escobar is just worldwide famous for drugs,
right?
You know, and then he is a member of the Norteños, which is absolutely a violent and horrendous. I just hate when girls get tied up with these bad boys. You can't fix them; they're not going to do right. He's got neck tats, you know, and he doesn't. Not that neck tats are always bad. I'm not saying that, but he looks like a bad boy, and I guess he proved it.
Yeah, he proved it. Proved it, and he's probably going to spend the rest of his life in jail, I'm sure.
Well, and imagine being that dad too. Just on that side note, you get shot 3 times. You are a random victim, right? And now you're told, oh, it's by a guy that's in a horrific gang, last name Escobar. Would you not be terrified to even follow through with anything? That's why they want their name not to be put out there. Yeah. I guarantee you. That's terrifying.
100%. I mean, they'll hunt you down and finish your job.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. Yeah. These gangs don't play. Mm-mm. All right, we're going to take a little trip.
Okay.
And we're going to take a trip in what I call the true crime time machine.
Oh.
We're going.
Wait, you need music with that.
Back to the past. We're going on our true crime time warp, if you will. And I'm going to tell you in this new segment of Crime Wire Weekly that we're going to go back to some of the most prolific crime headlines of their day. Today takes us to Miami 10 years ago.
Bienvenido a Miami.
10 years ago, and we are setting the true crime time machine for 2016. So let's get ready.
What happened?
In a raid that marks the largest cash seizure in the history of Miami-Dade County, siblings Luis Hernandez Gonzalez, who is 44 or was at that time, and Salma Hernandez, 32, were arrested after authorities uncovered more than $24 million hidden in the walls and the attic of their home in Miami Lakes, Florida.
That's some Breaking Bad shit right there. Did you watch that? When they hid the money in the walls?
Yeah. So,
look at the picture. Wow.
oh my gosh.
Sorry.
So they're hiding this money. It was primarily $100 bills. It was meticulously vacuum sealed and stashed in 24 orange Home Depot buckets concealed in a secret compartment. Now, the discovery came as part of a long-running investigation into marijuana trafficking, of all things, and money laundering. You think that was some cocaine stuff there, but no, marijuana. That's a lot of weed.
I know.
Police.
Wait. So in 24 Home Depot buckets, that can hold how many millions? 20? Is it $1 million a bucket?
I mean, yeah, I guess it would be.
Wow.
But I'm sure it wasn't exact. They had some in the attic too, so maybe that wasn't in bucket. I don't know.
I don't know, but I'll never look at those orange
I know
buckets.
it's $24 million laying out on the table, and it looks mighty tasty.
Yeah, I could
to
use
me.
some of that.
So police executed a search warrant at the residence. They found the hidden fortune alongside a high-powered automatic weapon and a package of steroids.
Whoa.
Which, hey, why not?
They should have taken them to
You don't
protect-
even need the muscles with all that money, brother.
No, you got to protect it.
Investigators worked through the night to count the haul, which is believed to represent a major blow to the organized drug network operating in South Florida. Both of these people obviously get arrested, he and his sister. And the siblings reportedly used their gardening business, which was called the Blossom Experience, as a front for the operation. Gonzalez allegedly had ties to marijuana dealers in Tennessee, and that further expanded the scope of the illegal activities. Of course, I'm going to post pictures of the bundles on this Patreon, that you're listening to now, but it's unbelievable, all this money that is just laid out there. And it made me wonder, me and Kelly have talked about this before, but when they do these drug busts, the sheriff's department or whoever busts them do get a percentage of this. That's enough to make any sheriff like, holy smokes, man, that's a great bust.
But man,
I don't know what percentage it breaks down between like the DA and the sheriff and people like that, but even if it's $1 million, that just fell in your hand.
that's great though,
It's enough
because
to buy a few police cars.
if the bad guys want to finance better, equipment for the police, I'm down with that. So just y'all keep hiding it.
Oh man,
hiding it.
$24 million.
Yeah, and those siblings right there, I guarantee you they got a lick on their head coming because somebody's money's gone.
Look, they probably had a few. It was probably more like 28 million. They had like 3 detectives that are like,
we couldn't
we're
carry it
taking
all."
2 of these orange buckets and they can have the rest.
Sure, it's just we want the bucket. We'll throw the money away.
Yeah,
we need the bucket.
because there ain't no way they knew how much money them 2 had, and
my God.
the 2 people, the 2 siblings. I mean, it's not like they're going to say, well, it was 24 million in there. How did 26 million? How did 2 million come up missing? They didn't count that shit.
Oh man,
It's
that's
Home Depot buckets.
oh,
Wow,
man.
yeah, it's a lot of money.
I need to get in landscaping. That's a good amount of money. Okay, so this story here too. This one kind of spark your interest too. We're gonna go to Delaware. Delaware, doesn't that make you think real like affluent and very like?
Delaware makes me think of the former president.
That's what I'm saying. But it makes you think of like high class political whatever. I don't know. It makes you.
Yeah, that and Delaware Punch.
Oh, the drink?
Yeah.
I forgot.
You don't think of Delaware Punch?
forgot
man?
about Delaware
it's a great
Punch.
drink. I hadn't drank it in years, but it's probably still pretty good.
The reason I don't have it at my house is because when I was in school, we had a kid that didn't have good oral hygiene, and when we would drink the Delaware Punch, it would turn his plaque red, and it gagged. It just,
Are you serious?
It gagged
Oh, my
me.
God.
Okay, but anyway, I digress. All right, William Bill Stevenson, the ex-husband of former lady. Boom.
No, we don't boom out.
We ain't gonna boom it?
Patreons.
Damn, I messed up, guys. I'll start over. I'm not perfect. Now you know. Okay. William Bill Stevenson, the ex-husband of former First Lady Dr. Jill Biden, has been indicted on a first-degree murder charge in connection with the death of his wife, Linda Stevenson, following a domestic dispute at their Delaware home late last year. The 77-year-old was arrested without incident on February 2nd, 2026, after the grand jury in Newcastle County returned the indictment in the investigation into the 64-year-old woman's suspicious death. According to police, officers responded to a domestic dispute at the couple's residence in the Oak Hill community near Wilmington on December 28th, and that was in 2025. And Linda Stevenson was found unresponsible upon arrival and was later pronounced dead at the scene. The case was handed over to the department's Criminal Investigations Unit, which conducted a weeks-long probe before presenting evidence to a grand jury. Court documents state that Stevenson did intentionally cause the death of Linda Stevenson, though authorities have not publicly disclosed the official cause of death or specific evidence linking him to the crime. Stevenson was arraigned shortly after his arrest and is currently being held at the Howard Young Correctional Institution in Wilmington after failing to post the $500,000 bail. The Delaware Department of Justice confirmed the charges but provided no further details on the ongoing investigation. Stevenson is a well-known figure in Delaware's music scene, is the former owner of the iconic Stone Balloon Bar in Newark, which hosted legendary acts like Bruce Springsteen and Billy Joel back in its heyday. He gained additional public attention as Jill Biden's first husband. The pair were married from 1970 to 1975 before they divorced. Stevenson has occasionally spoken out about his past relationships with the Bidens, including claims and interviews about political pressures during his divorce. However, those matters appear unrelated to the current charges. And as of now, no trial date has been set, but Stevenson's legal team has also not issued a public statement. The case remains under active investigation.
Wow, pretty wild. Pretty wild.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't expect that, even though he's the ex-husband, and they were married.
Just 5.
Yeah, because I didn't even realize that she had an ex-husband.
I didn't either, but
I thought she was married to Joe Biden her whole life. But
he has a type. The women are similar looking.
Very similar looking. I found the same. I found the same thing. So obviously we'll post that.
Yeah.
But 70 to 75, and then apparently she meets and marries who would become the president, and her ex-husband ends up in a murder rap.
Well,
That's pretty wild, man.
Yeah.
Talk about one extreme to the other.
I know, because old Biden was docile.
He was from Scranton.
He's docile.
Remember, he used to say that a lot. He used to say, "I'm from Scranton." Scranton, like Scranton's East LA or something. I'm from Compton. Oh yeah, I'm from Scranton, boy.
It's like saying I'm from Springfield.
I guess back in the day, maybe that was like a rough part of the United States or something.
When I think of Scranton, I think of that music.
All right, well, that is all we have for you today. And like I say, we played this on the regular feed today, but that's the last time you're going to hear Overtime. But that's what Overtime is going to be like. If you want to check it out, check us out on each of our Patreons. We're going to link both in the description of this podcast, and you can just click on that. And if you would like to get a little extra Crime Wire Weekly every week, you can do so. Thank you to everyone for listening. Share the podcast if you don't mind. Any final thoughts, Kelly?
Yeah, continue to send us your articles. We love it when you do that. We love talking about y'all's cases and the ones that are near your home. So send them to us.
There you go. Until next time, I'm Jim Chapman.
And I'm Kelly Jennings.
And we're your host of Crime
Wire
Weekly.